Well, on behalf of the APU community, I have the distinct pleasure of saying welcome home and welcome to orientation. We know many of you were not able to make summer orientation in the middle of the summer, and so we are hosting this session because we want you to be in the know and have the same information that members of our learning community received earlier in the summer. So we are so thrilled that you are here. Can you believe it? You are at APU, about to start your academic journey right now. I think that's worthy of applause. Come on, make some noise. Make some noise. It's awesome. Awesome. So my name's Keith Hall. I serve as the Executive Director of the Undergraduate Academic Success Center, and I have the distinct pleasure of working closely with a team of folks who are all about supporting our undergraduate students reach higher levels of academic success. So in our department, we have academic advising. For those of you who, you probably interfaced with some of our academic success coaches in building your schedules. They work in our center. We have the Student Success Initiatives Department in our department. We also have the Noel Strengths Academy, and then TRIO programs. TRIO programs tends to be a Department of Education funded program for students who are identify as first-generation college students, and so a ton of great things are happening. We actually report to the Vice Provost, and actually she is here with us, Dr. Vicki Bowden. Where are you at, Vicki? Where are you at? Can I see you? Let's give her a huge round of applause. We appreciate her leadership. And so in a few moments, you'll hear from Dr. Bowden as well as Stephanie Galla, who serves as the Director of Academic Advising. And so they'll share with you some real practical advice that's specific to the academic side that you really want to pay close attention to as you start this new academic journey. So again, we are thrilled that you're here. And again, we don't use the term welcome. I try to emphasize this a lot. It's all about welcome home. We've been waiting for you to come. We've been prayerfully considering your arrival. I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Anybody ever been to Nashville, Tennessee? Yeah, a good number of any country music fans in the place? Yeah, country music. Look, born and raised in Nashville, and I am not a fan of country music. I don't know what happened. Something just didn't translate there. But I've been working in higher ed since 2001. And I can recall vividly having conversations with students who I mentored, and as they approached the time of commencement or graduation, and I would pose this question. I would say, hey, what was your experience like? If you had one sentence, a couple of words to kind of characterize your academic journey, which words, which expressions, which sentences would you use? And too often, many of my students, they would respond this way. I finally made it. And so it was really like this expression of exhaustion, an experience, yes, that was filled with rigor and challenge, which is the collegiate experience. It's supposed to stretch you. But I got the sense that it wasn't one that was filled with life and with energy. And I wouldn't even say the term aliveness would characterize it. And so just for a brief moment, I want to challenge you to really expand maybe your definition of student success. And this is a movement, this is a wave, not just here at APU, but across other higher ed institutions around the globe. We understand that student success cannot be restricted to just grades. Listen, we want all of our students to strive for excellence academically. We want them to make the highest marks possible. To be frank with you, we want every student that's in this space to make straight A's this fall semester. Okay, some of you look down, the others of you smile. Some parents looked at their kids like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Wake up, right? We do. We want you to make the highest mark possible in the classroom. But then there are other aspects of student life and student experience that we want you to be attentive to. We want all of our students to be integrated into the tapestry, the social dimensions of our university. There's a ton of research that supports the fact that students who tend to be strong and perform well academically are those students who experience a high sense of belonging on campus. And for that to happen, it requires intentionality. It just doesn't happen by going to the room and then going to class and going back to your dorm room, but it's really stepping sometimes outside of your comfort zone and connecting with your peers and faculty and others who are a part of this learning community. So it is our desire to see every undergraduate student here at APU to thrive. Not to survive college, not to offer that expression of exhaustion, of being depleted. But when you slip on that graduation gown and you put on that graduation cap, and as you prepare to walk up those steps and grab your degree and shake President Wallace's hand, you can say within yourself that this experience, man, it wasn't one of survival, but man, I thrived. Everybody shout with me, say thrive. Come on, let's create some energy in this Felix Event Center. Everybody shout thrive. That's what we want for you. That is our vision for you. So when you hear this term thrive, what comes to mind? And I know we don't have a mic, but listen, we're family. I want to hear, just yell out some responses. What comes to mind when you hear the term thrive? Happy. I love that. So there is like this sense of joy, okay, this sense of happiness, this sense of satisfaction. Give me some other responses. Success. And success looks differently for every student. For some students, it's a 4.0 GPA. For other students, it's being a part of service projects where you have an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others, maybe in this LA greater area, or maybe it's abroad, or maybe it's studying away. So success looks differently for every student. It's important for you to hone in on, man, what is a successful academic journey for me? How do I want to develop? How do I want to grow? How do I want to leverage my capacity and my God-given design? Okay? So success, great response. Come on, give me some of it. Let's get two more. What else comes to mind? Yes. I'm sorry? Growth. Yeah, Dr. Lori Schreiner, she's actually one of our faculty members here at APU in doctoral higher ed, and she's a researcher. And she's done a ton of research on what are the behaviors that are demonstrated by students who thrive. And one image, one metaphor that she commonly uses is the metaphor of a flower that grows, that flourishes, that has healthy petals, that has a healthy stem, that's rooted and grounded in healthy soil. And so I love that image. You're exactly right. It's growth. There's development. Thank you. Good. What else? Fellowship. So this connection with others, that it's not just about me, but I'm connecting with my peers and faculty members and mentors and student leaders, and there is this kinship or connection that exists between us. Hey, do me a favor. Let's give all those individuals who yelled out responses a huge round of applause. Excellent. So when we look at the thriving framework based on literature, let me just give this to you very quickly and I'll be out of your way. So typically thriving can be characterized or defined this way: as college students being fully engaged. That's not a picture of engagement, is it? Intellectually, socially, emotionally, and spiritually in the college experience. And so it's all of those domains being balanced and operating together with in a symmetrical fashion. Okay? Socially engaged, academically engaged, emotionally engaged, and spiritually engaged. One tenet here at APU, and all of you know this, but it's worth mentioning again. One huge distinctive here at APU is this notion of faith integration. So yes, we want you to focus on your academic discipline of study, whether that's psychology or social work or nursing, or history, or music. Yes, we want you to devote attention to it, but we also want you to think, how does my faith inform my interest and my love for this discipline of study? And how is that going to be expressed in a career? And so the faculty, they're going to talk about that, and you may hear a little bit more about that from our Vice Provost, Dr. Bowden. That's the richness of academic thriving. Emotionally, we want you to be well. Okay? And there are times when you come face to face with challenges and you may need support. And so one suggestion that we offer to all students, hey, do not be on this journey by yourself. If you need support, reach out. Reach out. A little bit later at the end of our time, we actually have hard copies of a resource guide that highlights all the different service units, academic units on campus. So if you need resourcing, if you need services, whether that's tutoring services from the Learning Enrichment Center, or if you need academic success coaching from our Undergraduate Academic Success Center, or if you need emotional support from the Counseling Center, the information and about those offices are included in that resource guide, and so that will be made available to you. Students, we encourage you, take advantage of those services. Here at APU, we value your experience in the classroom. We want to support you in the classroom, but then we're mindful of other issues that take place in life, and we want to support you through those challenges and sometimes obstacles as well. So the last thing I want to share with you, and we could go on, but I just want to share some practical strategies. And some of this is informed by thoughts that have been shared from some of our students that we meet with on a day-to-day basis. Some of this is informed by literature in higher education. As you start this new academic journey, and as the posters go away, right, and the chants, they die down, and it's time to really kick it into high gear academically, what are some things that you should be thinking about to ensure that you start this journey well and you're successful over the course of the next 15 weeks? So here they are, some pathways to holistic student success. Okay? The first one is this: we always encourage students to be balanced and to be engaged. Look, we have a host of opportunities academically as well as in the co-curricular for you to be a part of. And I'm sure many of you, as you walk, the Cougar walk, and you saw the different offices reflected there, you're like, man, I want to be a part of everything. And so we encourage you, definitely assess your capacity. You can only do so much. And so don't put yourself in a position where it compromises your ability to perform well academically because you're stretched so thin. Okay? And you don't have to say no. It may be reframing and saying not yet. Maybe there are opportunities that you want to participate in, but maybe this isn't the right season or the right semester. Maybe it's your second year that it's the best time for you to explore that opportunity. So be attentive to your capacity and what you can actually commit to. There's also this emphasis on engagement. As you walk into the classroom, make sure that you demonstrate what you've demonstrated in high school. Many of you were engaged in high school. How do you amplify that now that you're in college? So when you're in the classroom, offer your thoughts. You have a perspective that's unique, that is rich. Your peers, they benefit from hearing your voice. That's a huge aspect of sense of belonging and community. So share your thoughts. And when you're present, your peers are enriched by your presence. But when you're absent, they miss out on the voice that you would bring to that classroom, and then you miss out on hearing their thoughts. So be engaged. Take ownership of your learning. It's very key. Next, clarify your expectations. Hey, when you walk into your first class next week, what's the first thing that you probably want to get your hands on? Students, say it out loud. Yes, your syllabus, good. Some of you are like, my faculty member's name. Yes, you want that too. That's important for you to know who your instructor is, and you probably already know that from looking at your schedule. But definitely get your hands on the syllabus, because the syllabus gives you a sense of how the course is structured. It highlights the learning outcomes that are associated with the course and what you hope to gain from the course. And so you can govern yourself appropriately at the beginning of the term. You'll know when your tough stretches will take place during the term by looking at the syllabus. And so develop a plan, develop a scheme. If it's your desire to make an A in all of your classes, we'll develop a strategic plan to make that a reality. It's going to take so many hours on a day-to-day basis for you to reach that outcome. Okay? So plan proactively. Clarify your expectations. Also, always think about, like some of you are very clear about, man, why I'm here. But sometimes when we become inundated with the day-to-day work, sometimes we lose sight of that. And so from time to time, reflect on that expectation. Reflect on that vision. Okay? Next, cultivate connections. I alluded to this a little bit earlier, but it's so key that you connect with your peers, that you feel connected to this APU community. Students who tend to perform best in higher ed are those students who feel, again, this strong sense of connection to the community. Okay? Now, we talked to a few students, earlier in the summer, and, some students said, hey, this is a real challenge for me. I mean, this is literally me stepping outside of my comfort zone. I prefer to be to myself, and actually, I'm more energized when I'm to myself. For some of you, can be a little exhausting. How many of you, this has been like an exhausting day? Show of hands. Beyond just the heat, but just the inner, yeah, some of you. And some of the parents are like, yes, it's been exhausting. So I get that some of this is tied to wiring. And so for those of you who may be a little more introverted, it may be a challenge to kind of step outside of your comfort zone, but challenge yourself to do that. Be intentional about that. Make a connection with one or two other peers that you can walk with over the next, few 15 weeks or the next semester. Okay? If you do that, you become more engaged, and for some reason, we become more motivated and more persistent. Okay? So cultivate connections. And you'll hear more about this tonight, but there are tons of programs and resources and units on campus that can help you with that. Obviously, you can take ownership of that and cultivate some relationships organically in the classroom. But we have, many of you, you're now a part of an alpha group. How many of you met your alpha leader? You've met your alpha leader? Okay, some of you have. You will. Okay, so people who are eager to be a resource to you. These are student leaders, and they know what this feels like, and so you're going to enjoy their presence. There's D groups, okay, ways that you can be a part of spiritual development in a small group fashion. So there are a lot of opportunities that you can take advantage of to ensure that you're cultivating meaningful connections. Next, demonstrate discipline. Demonstrate discipline. Okay? So, how many of you have ever had a paper to do? You had the time to complete it. You had the resources to complete it. You had access to the library to do it well, but you just didn't feel like doing it. Show of hands. Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, it's not good, but I'm glad that you can relate. I'm glad that you can relate. So we always encourage students to, when you're having those moments, do your best to push through them. And some of this has to do with assessing your unique learning style and the way that you're wired. Hey, how many students in this space you like to study early in the morning? Like you like to get up early, 5 o'clock. Okay, all two of you. Great. All right. All right, all two of you. How many of you do some of your best work in the afternoon? Show of hands. Okay, we have about 5. Okay, I think most of you. How many of you like to do your work late at night? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Almost that's probably like 75% of the audience. So find your prime time when you do your best work. For those of you who raised your hand at the end, also be mindful of, your physical well-being. So sometimes it's not good for you to start an assignment at 10 o'clock at night or midnight and go until 6, take an hour nap, and then be at your 8 o'clock class. That doesn't work for an extended period of time. And so it may be prudent for you to develop a schedule that allows your well-being to flourish and to thrive. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Can I get an amen from the audience? Okay, that was mainly parents. Students, can I get an amen too? Okay, I appreciate that. Students like, I'm staying up till midnight. I don't care. You're going back home. I'm starting that assignment at midnight. I'm getting up at 6, vanilla latte at 6:30 at Starbucks, 8 o'clock class. right? No, no, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. We want you to be well. Okay, so demonstrate discipline. It's good. Next, develop your rhythm. Hey, do me a favor, everybody, follow me. Okay, good. Look, develop a rhythm that's unique for you. We get rhythm when we listen to some of our favorite songs. Like for me, I used to grow up on Boys to Men. Y'all remember Boys to Men? Huh? Any Boys to Men fans in here? Yeah. And I like Miley Cyrus a little bit, not too much. Okay, not too much. She can be a little. I like the Mickey Mouse Miley Cyrus. I don't know what happened after that, but listen. Find music. We get it. We get music rhythm. Find the rhythm that works for you. The time, and this is true even in scheduling your classes. When are you at your best? When are you most alert? When do you tend to focus and concentrate the best? Find your rhythm. When are you at your best? Sometimes it's not in a group of 20. Maybe it's in a group of 5. That's when you tend to be at your best, and you can share your voice, and you can engage in the lives of others. Some of you may have the strength, and you'll learn about this in your first year seminar. You may have the strength of WOO. It's an acronym for winning others over. And so you love being in big crowds. By the end of the day, you have 50 to 60 telephone numbers in your cell phone number. They're all first names, though, right? That's the way you roll. Find the rhythm that works for you. Everybody say, find your rhythm. Yeah, say it with some flavor. Say, find your rhythm. Can you nod your head like that? Find your rhythm. Y'all are a cool crowd. Cool. Find your rhythm. And then this is the last one. Seek out support. Listen, everybody needs help at some point. And so I want to dissipate this notion that, man, if I'm seeking out help, that means I'm not smart. That is ridiculous. That is ludicrous. Actually, some of our greatest leaders, some of our greatest inventors, they collaborated with others. Some of our greatest students who perform well on this campus, they seek out help. They understand that, hey, I'm not good in every subject. If I'm in a math class and the teacher's writing something on the dry eraser board that looks like foreign language, but I look to my side and I see my peer who understands this in her sleep, man, I am one vanilla latte away from learning that content. Cultivate a partnership with your peer. Hey, you know what the most underutilized resource is on a college campus? It's not the library. It's not faculty. It's not advising. It's other students. You will rub elbows with students who get some of the content in your courses in their sleep. And you may be like, I am completely lost. Cultivate a partnership. That is what learning community is all about. Know that you have the freedom to do that. For some of the guys in this space, understand that this is strictly for academic purposes. This is not for the hookup. It's not you saying, hey, baby, I really don't get that math equation, but I think if I put my brain with your brain, we can have an incredible summation of, stop that. Strictly for academic purposes. Everybody got it? So, if you need support, seek it out. There are some resources that will be referenced in the resource guide. I've referenced some of them, the Learning Enrichment Center. Feel free to come to the Undergraduate Academic Success Center. We're in Building 30. Did everybody hear that? The Undergraduate Academic Success. Can you say that with me? The Undergraduate. Come on, everybody together. One more time. The Undergraduate Academic Success Center. We are in Building 30. And man, we have a team of higher ed professionals who love students, who love God, and they love to work with students, walk alongside students, to develop strategies, academic maps to reach your goals. If you say, hey, I want to graduate in 4 years, they're going to do everything in their power to make that happen. And actually, that's our aspiration for those of you who are first-year students. For those of you who are transfer students, if you're saying, hey, I want to graduate in 2 years, I'm done with all my general education, well, we want to partner with you and come up with a plan to see if that's a possibility. The bottom line is that we want to come alongside you. We don't want to just tell you what you need to do. We want to collaboratively develop a plan that is customized and that fully considers you and the way God has designed you. The bottom line is that we want you to thrive. We want you to be at your best. We want you to feel alive. Man, if I see you on Cougar Walk 2 years from now, 4 years from now, and it's right before commencement time, and our very own Dr. Bowden, she's heavily in the planning of commencement. It's one of our favorite times of the year. And if I don't remember your name, but I remember your face, and I point to you, it's my hope that your response is, man, Dr. K, I thrive. This experience at APU was absolutely awesome. That's what we want to hear from you. So, again, welcome home. Welcome home. Let me say this, and you've probably seen this language all over the place. We're intentional about you not using the term welcome. Welcome sends the message that you're entering a space that's not yours. I live in Riverside, and we have guests over to our house quite often. My wife is a Southern cook. Man, I mean, she can go. And when we invite people over, we greet them, we say welcome. They come into the home, they dine. They have to unbuckle their belt a little bit because they eat a little too much. My wife, she brings out usually y'all like apple pie? Like with the homemade crust, with a little scoop of vanilla ice cream. Anybody getting hungry? I am. I'm getting hungry, man. And then we eat that together and we laugh a lot. And then typically I go and get coffee for everybody. But at some point, if you're at our house, you know that after the coffee and when the laughter dies down, it's time for you to what? It's time for you to go. Right? You're not spending the night. Right, it's time for you to transition elsewhere, and we'll set up another time for us to get together. But it's time for you to take your leave. So welcome in that situation is appropriate. We intentionally put these two words together, welcome home, because you're not visiting. This is your campus. Now that you're a part of this university, this is your college, this is your space. We just don't want you to be present. We don't want you just to be a passive participant walking the sidewalks. We want you to be an engaged contributor to the culture, to the fabric of this university. So I'll say it once again and I'll be out of your way. Everyone, on behalf of our faculty and staff and our administration here at APU, welcome home. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much for your attention. So I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming to the stage a couple of people that I think very, very highly of. One in particular provides incredible leadership for our undergraduate programs here at APU. She has a spirit that is so lively, a mind that's strategic, and she has a heart for students. And so we're very fortunate to have her serve as the Vice Provost of Undergraduate Studies. So I give to you, and please give her a huge shout out. You're gonna hear her name a lot while you're here at APU. Make some crazy, loud APU noise for our very own Dr. Vicki Bowden.
Okay, are you ready? And I want to introduce the Director of Academic Advising, Stephanie Gala.
Hello, hello.
Okay, before we get started, we're going to ask you to stand up, take a stretch, and we have some people that are going to hand out the orientation guide that we distributed during the summer, but we assume that you didn't get a copy. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to say about it?
So I think that Keith actually just referenced it, so you guys know. This is your guide to keep for your entire time here at APU. There's contact information for each department on campus. We're gonna have these 3 wonderful ladies right up here, so you guys can like get up and stretch. We have 1 per family, so if you wanna nominate someone from your family to come on up and grab one of these resource guides up here. I know everyone needs a little stretch. You've been sitting for an hour, right? Nicole, if you come up, right up here up front.
I feel like we need some rock music. You got designated for a lot of people.
Yeah, thank you.
I know we only have 1 per family right now, but if you are wanting an extra one of those, in the admissions office, you can always grab another one. They do have some extras, so please know that at any time if you wanted to do that, they will have some for you.
So thanks for joining us today. This is now the sort of nuts and bolts session of our academic introduction. So we're going to talk about a few more details with academics, but I have to tell you, I love being in this room. And the reason I love this is because just earlier this week on Wednesday, this room, and I'm sure Dr. Wallace will speak about this tonight or mention it, it was full of faculty and staff. And when we're singing songs and praying and listening to what the goal and strategies and visions are for the university, and you look around the room and it's jam-packed with faculty and staff, I thought to myself, this is amazing to be in such a place where we're all focused on doing and supporting God's mission through what the school does, what the university does. So that's exciting. And then this next week, parents are going to miss this, but they will have chapel in here next week. And again, I will be down on the front rows, and I just love turning around, and while all the students are singing and praising and just looking at all these students and thinking, oh my gosh, the lives that will just have such adventures over the course of this year and over the next few years. And then I get the privilege of being back in here. It'll be December, I think, 16th this year. This is where we hold commencement for the winter time. In the summer, in the May, we hold it out on the field, but in December, we hold it inside. And it is such another moment in this room when people are crossing the stage and families are cheering, so this room just has a lot of power and meaning for me. So I'm glad you're here in this room as part of your beginning. You're going to enjoy tonight. You must stay for tonight. Absolutely must. Parents, you'll think, oh, I'm tired, I want to go home. Or if you've got a friend here, they're thinking, I'm kind of out of here, I need to. No, you must stay for tonight. There are traditions that I can't give it away, but things that will happen tonight that are very traditional to APU, and when you graduate, we do some of those same traditions over again. So you just don't want to miss that moment. Anyhow, let's talk about academic support here. So you heard my title, Vice Provost for Undergraduate Programs, and you're thinking, what the heck does that mean? Well, welcome to University Life. The person in charge of academics, who is the CEO, if you want, of academics at the university, is called the provost. And the provost you'll meet tonight is Mark Stanton. Under Mark Stanton, we have various people that serve in an administrative capacity. I happen to be one of them. as the Vice Provost for undergraduate programs. I have a lot of support offices that report to me, and by support offices I mean offices that are geared towards supporting you as students and also the work of faculty. And that is what I'm here for, is to be supporting both student work and faculty work. Then within, also under the domain of the provost, are the colleges and schools. And you can see up here all the names of the different colleges and schools. Now, somebody name a department for me that, like, what's your major? Somebody name a major. Psychology. So what department are you under? Do you know? It's Department of Psychology. Does anybody know what school or college the Department of Psychology is in? Good. Behavioral and Applied Sciences. Who's got another major? Poli-Sci, Political Science, which is part of the Department of... It's in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, part of the Department of History and Political Science. So in the college, everything, your major is within a department. Your department has faculty, obviously, in it, and a chair. The chair is like the supervisor of all the faculty in that area. They're also the ones that help develop this class schedules, and if you're feeling like you're having problems in a class, you would go to the chair. The chair reports to the dean of that college or that school, and the dean reports to the provost. Now, why is this important? Because we want you to create an identity with your department and the school and college you belong. Because there'll be activities within that school or college. There'll be activities within that department. And we want to make sure you know who you belong to. Now, some of you came in, perhaps, as, quote, undeclared students.
It's exploring. They're
What?
exploring major options.
Exploring, right? Undeclared, exploring, but now we have you in a major within the College of Liberal Arts and Science, and that would be the interdisciplinary studies major. You're part of that major so that you have a home. And it's important to us that you have an academic home. So that's what this is all about.
Can I add
about
something in there,
building
Vicki?
academic
Is that
home.
okay?
Yeah.
Can I add that? I also want to let you guys know, I was a student here, so I did my undergrad program, and I think sometimes seeing this structure is helpful to hear the duties, but also I think of this as kind of, this is your academic web of care, and all of these layers that you're listening to, and they have these duties and these structures, but I can tell you honestly, I experienced as a student and now as staff, all of them are advocating for you and your academic journey so you can get to graduation. So if you think about it that way too, like these are all of the people who are going to be supporting your journey and ensuring that the structures are in place for you to get that degree. So I think that that was something I experienced, and I see that is so true. So just know that your chair is there to support you in your specific major.
So as I said, we hold graduation in here, but how do you get to that point? So it takes 120 units to graduate. If you recall, if you've looked at your schedule, most of you see that your courses, your classes, most of them are in 3 units per class. Some of them are 4, especially the sciences. PE classes, maybe 1. So you have to have a minimum of 120 units. And we've developed all the majors around that 120 units, although some majors, because their professional discipline demands more courses, they may be more than 120 units. For instance, nursing is one of them. There's so many demands to be a registered nurse that major requires more classes. But part of that 120 is what we call the general education curriculum. And the goal of the general education curriculum as part of the baccalaureate degree is help you to have a wider, more holistic view of the arts, humanities, sciences, make you a well-rounded person. So our GE program is 62 units that includes a foreign language proficiency. Now, is anybody here, raise your hand if you've gone in to take the foreign language proficiency assessment. We have a couple of people that have already done it. Cheers to you, woo. Yay. You can go into the LEC, the Learning Enrichment Center. There is an assessment you can do that will help you determine whether you pass the competencies to have your foreign language proficiency approved, or whether it's telling you that you're going to need to take 1 or perhaps 2 classes to meet that foreign language requirement.
And you can also do web CAPE. You may have been getting some emails about that. So you can do that from the comfort of your home, in your dorm now here. If you're at home and you want to just go ahead and jump online and do that, that'll at least tell you where you're placing. So you know if you need 1 or 2 classes or none. And then you can go into the Learning Enrichment Center after that. And if you wanted to actually take some CLEP exams or other exams that they offer there to get units, you can do that. But remember, web CAPE will be a great resource to start with.
So to graduate, you have to finish all the requirements for your major and minor, if you choose a minor. And there's also some requirements regarding that you've met your chapel requirements, you met your service requirements for the university. And as you get closer to graduation, we make sure and work with you to make sure that you've met those requirements. And actually, you're able to check online all the time how you're progressing towards those requirements. You also have to maintain a cumulative GPA of 2.0 and pass the 67% of the courses you attempt. And I do need to mention, though, some majors require higher GPAs. Like, for instance, in the School of Business, there's a higher GPA requirement to complete that major. And we also, though, have these academic advisory sessions that we plan and schedule in the fall and in the spring, although you can have academic advising anytime you want. Go to your faculty member, go to the Department of Academic Advising. They'll do advising and help you at any time. But we do have some required times that we need you to do academic advising because we want you to be successful and make sure you're on track. And one of those is in the beginning of the freshman year. Another one is during your Writing 2 course that you'll be taking. And then some of the majors have other times they require you to do that academic advising to help you, again, progress. Anything you want to say about that stuff?
I think
You'll
you
say
got
more
it.
soon. Okay, so let's talk about the GE program for a few minutes. I said it's 62 units. So our GE program consists of 5 major areas. The first one is intellectual and practical skills. So how many of you are signed up for a GE 100 course that you'll be starting next week? Lots? Okay, lots of you. You should be. If you're an incoming freshman, and that means anyone with less than 30 units that you've already gained, say a community college or another university, then you're registered, you're required to complete GE 100. And I need to mention at this time, it is required that you pass GE 100. It is not difficult to pass the course, but everything Keith said right here about investing yourself in it, making sure you do the assignments, those things must happen. Because if you don't do well in that class, you're still gonna have to take it again. And it's a class that is supposed to be welcoming you to the university and help you to get to know both yourself better and the university better and help you especially in critical thinking. That's the goal of that class, to really help you focus on critical thinking. Then another, I think, a really great thing about APU is we have focused on writing. We believe writing is so important. If I can go back to that slide. Writing is so important at this university. We have 3 writing courses that are required. One at the freshman level, one at the sophomore level, and one at the junior level. But here's the good news. The one, Writing 2 and Writing 3, are usually connected to your major. So you get what we call double dip. You take it for your major, it counts as part of your major credit, and you get credit in your GE classes. We also require oral communication, and then a PE class, and then a quantitative literacy. What I want to mention about the quantitative literacy, we used to have this thing where everybody had to take college algebra. Okay, parents, how many of you took college algebra? How many of you use it every day? Right. So we have other options. Some of you need college algebra for your major. You absolutely must, that's your choice. But we have other math choices. So I suggest, again, if you're not sure which one to take, meet with an advisor. They'll help guide you which math course to take so that you're taking one that's going to help in both your major and help in practical skills in life, right? Did you jump too fast? Okay, the next one is knowledge of human cultures. That's our second category. In this, you're going to have to take a history class. You're going to be taking a literature course. You're going to take a fine arts course, something in art, theater, along those lines. Social science, this is like a sociology, a psychology class, and a natural science. Those are the 4 units. That's where you'll take a biology class, a chemistry class, some other options. Astronomy, fun. If you were into the eclipse last week, maybe that's the one you want to go take for yourself. Also, another huge foundation of being part of APU, right, is our biblical, theological, and philosophical formation courses. And we have 18 units devoted to that. Those 18 units are a little bit different, again, if you came in as a transfer student. So if you've come in with 30 units or more, then your requirements are less than 18. But in general, for freshmen coming in, first-time students, we have 18 units. Many of you are probably, well, all of you should be signed up for a Bible class this next semester. Most of you will be signed up for either Christian Life, Faith, and Ministry or the Exodus Deuteronomy class. Then you can see at the Luke Acts class, often that's taken the sophomore year, a philosophy class, and theology, and an upper division class. So that's what equals 18 units that can be spread out over all the 4 years. Two other categories, personal and social responsibility. So we have classes in meet civic knowledge and engagement, 3 units, and an intercultural competency. There's lots of opportunities in these. These are not a single class offered on campus. There's a multiple selection, and again, most disciplines, most majors have a course within their major. For instance, criminal justice has a course within their major that meets this intercultural competency requirement. So you get a double dip again. You get an opportunity to meet a GE requirement while at the same time meeting a requirement for your major. And then this last category is another, just a hallmark of APU, the integrated and applied learning. We believe what we're about is preparing you for the future, right? It's not just about a whole bunch of book knowledge. It's about taking that book knowledge, synthesizing it, applying it so that you can be job ready. It's providing you internships. So in our GE program, we require that you take a course that's going to help you with that synthesis and putting it all together and applying that knowledge. And again, these courses are all within your majors. So you'll be taking a class. If I keep referring to nursing, because my background is I'm a nurse. And so one of the final courses in the nursing major is a clinical course that applies to this degree. If you're in a business, they have a business capstone that applies to this. Biology has a biology research class that applies to this and meets these GE. So we have that crossover. And again, it helps to give you an opportunity to bring together all the knowledge you've learned and apply it. So we have developed these academic maps. And I love these because they're their 4-year plan. They're going to help you plot out. If you haven't seen your academic map for your major, again, you can either talk to a faculty member in your discipline, in your major, or you can come to the Department of Academic Advising in the Undergraduate Academic Success Center, and they will help pull up an academic map for you. So you can know, okay, here's what I need to plot out for the next whatever years to get through the program. But it includes in there, I need to mention this, it includes space usually for you to take a minor. We have 56 minors on campus. And what an opportunity for you to take something else that you're interested in. For you students, it may be that thing that your parents tried to convince you you didn't want to major in, right? Don't major in that. It'll take too much time. You love music. Oh no, don't major in that. But this is an opportunity to perhaps do a minor in music or a minor in something within the School of Theology or a minor in entrepreneurship. There's so many choices there. And so you'll have those spaces most of you will have spaces within your curriculum to be able to add those units to complete a minor. And last thing here is I just want to say some differences again between high school and college. And some of these are a little bit challenging for parents. Because how many of you, if you were like me, when your son or daughter was in high school, you were pretty much looking at their grades every day? Okay, true confession. Yeah, I was checking out the assignment. I'm like, did they turn it in? Did they get it done on time? Well, how many points did they get? That's one of the toughest things about college. We use what's called here a learning management system. And the word you'll come to know it's called Sakai. Although we're changing from Sakai to another platform over the next year. So Sakai is going to go away and you hear faculty cheering. But But a learning management system where many of the faculty use to share information about your grade or when you turn in papers. It's a tough thing to transition from daily, weekly, getting information about your grade to realizing that your first graded assignment may not be due until the 4th or 5th week of the semester. Or your first graded assignment might be that midterm. And that's hard to get used to. But it's your responsibility to keep up as a student with what those grades are, either looking in the LMS for those grades or keeping track yourself of the grades and feedback that you're getting. So that can be one of the harder transition. What else on this list do you think looks?
You know, I think something in here is the amount of time that it takes for each class with studying and homework. I think that's a big transition that I hear a lot of students talk about. In our Academic Success Center, we work a lot with students about time management and how do I even navigate the syllabus and when are these assignments due? So I think that that is something that's really different and something just to note now and just to normalize that. If that is something that you're starting to feel as you're in those classes, like, wow, I did not realize how long it was going to take to write this type of paper. That is so normal. And we have resources on campus. We have a wonderful writing center. We'll go into some resources later. But I think that is a big one that we hear a lot from students. So that is, I think, key to know right now.
I think people don't realize that if you have a 3-unit class, that means you're in 3 hours of class a week. And then you're minimum spending 2 hours per each hour, so 6 hours outside of class doing homework for that class. And homework will a lot of times be just reading. I shouldn't say just reading, it's reading. It might be doing other work, but at minimum. So when you think about you've got a 15 units you're carrying, that's 30 hours outside the class, right? Did I get that computation right? 30 hours outside of class that you need to schedule because that's how much work you're going to be doing outside of class to meet the needs of that class. And so that can be a big change.
And I think the other piece too, I know oftentimes, and I know this was a switch for me when I went into undergrad, was in high school you're told pretty much, here's your classes and here's what you have to take. So we have these wonderful academic maps that you just heard about, which are a guide, but I think the ownership is so on our students here, which is beautiful, and you have that autonomy to kind of build a schedule as you need, but there's a lot more ownership that you have to take in making sure you're going to those advising sessions and you're meeting with people to make sure that you're taking the right classes, because we're not just going to tell you every semester, take these classes. We're giving you the tools and we're equipping you with the resources so that you can build a schedule that works with your work schedule, or if you're involved in other things on campus, we want you to do those things. So that means you have to build a course schedule now that helps you do all of those things you want to do, but then also still get you to graduation. So I think that's a big switch too, is taking that ownership.
Good.
So should we move on?
Yeah.
So is everyone here to get a degree? Can I see some hands? Who wants a degree by the time right? So everyone's here for that. So, right, we're going to get into some of the details. How do we do that? So one of the most important relationships you can have here on campus is your advising relationship. And you'll hear at APU, we are so relational. If you haven't seen on campus yet, if you're going throughout the day, I'm sure you had people helping you move in your boxes if you're living here on campus, or if you got to go to the commuter. Right, aren't they amazing? Yes, thank you. Can we cheer? I know they're not in the room, but they deserve some cheers. And if you're a commuter or transfer, hopefully you got to make it to the transfer and commuter connect time. Did anyone get to go to that? Do we have any commuters or transfers? Woo, we got some here. You'll see we have so many support systems and so many people to rally around you because we care so deeply. And that is true of your faculty advisors as well. So if you have a major declared already, you go to your department for academic advising and you get to connect with your faculty. And this is such a powerful part of your experience here, is engaging with your faculty. They're gonna help you prepare for grad school, give you ideas on what is career options, what does this look like? You get to hear from their experience and what they've been doing in the industry. And if you're still exploring major options, you get to come meet with us. I'm biased, but we're wonderful, and I think we're the best. So you get to come, and you get to meet in academic advising in the Undergraduate Academic Success Center, and you have a coach who's going to meet one-on-one with you as well and build that rapport and help you explore who you are and where this journey is taking you so that you can find a major that's a good fit, that's helping you find God's calling on your life. So these are such important relationships, but remember that you have to engage in that because we want you to take part. This is a partnership that we're doing. So we're gonna equip you, we're gonna give you those resources, but engage with your faculty or your success coach. I think that's one of the most important tools to getting to graduation.
Right.
So here are some other tools. If you haven't yet navigated into PeopleSoft, we have the academic requirements and degree audit. So that is basically your list of all the classes you have to accomplish to get that degree. So if you have not navigated that yet, please stop into our office so that we can show you how to navigate that. We have computers out. We'll get a laptop ready for you so we can help you find that, because that is really like your golden ticket. You have to check off all of those requirements. So that's a tool that you'll need. We also have those 4-year plans I know you guys heard about. So I know that coming in maybe as a transfer, I saw we have some transfers in the room. This is a general guide, but we also can make an individual plan for you. So we can kind of basically take that 4-year plan that you saw and individualize it for you and your goals. You have your academic success coaches. You notice how I kind of mentioned those academic success coaches more than once. Your academic advisors, as well as One Stop. That's going to be a huge resource as well, and making sure that you're connected with them and the resources they offer. So, I know Keith told you a little bit about our Undergraduate Academic Success Center, and we have 4 departments under there. And we have our advising team, which is us, and you heard a little bit about what we do, but overall what our office does, and you can kind of see some of the bullet points of the specifics, but we really are here to partner with you and your journey here as a student and helping you identify your goals and get you connected to the resources and equipped to reach them. That's the heart of what we're doing. We have some specific program you can always check out, but that's the heart of what we're doing and helping students really find who they want to be. We also have our student support services initiatives and student success initiatives. And we just heard about the first-year seminar, GE 100, that most of you, some of you are already enrolled in. So we have Christina Alvarado, who you guys will probably hear from. She sends some emails out to our first-year students, and she's just done an incredible job. I know you heard from Vicki about that course. I get to teach one of those courses, and it is just such a highlight to journey with students as they're coming in on campus and just exploring options for what they want to do here at APU. So it's a beautiful, beautiful support system to help our students transition. There's also some other initiatives and programs that she'll be doing just to help make sure students have the tools they need to be successful here at APU. We have Trio Target Success. So if some of you guys have heard about that, look at that shirt right there. And so that is for our first-generation college students and some students who might be demonstrating financial need or need some accommodations through the Learning Enrichment Center. They do tons. I mean, I can't even read all of those bullet points, but they are a phenomenal program. They serve about 140 students on our campus. So if you identify with one of those populations, make sure you check that out, get an application into them. You can go to our website and you can see more information on them. We also have the Knoll Academy of Strengths, and I know Keith also talked about the fact that we will have all of our students in that first-year seminar course take the strengths assessment. And this assessment is really to help you identify your God-given natural talents and who you are. And Dave, through the Knoll Academy of Strengths, offers coaching and so many things just to make sure that all of us on campus, faculty, staff, and students, are really reaching our potential of who God has created us to be and seeing the best in ourselves. So I think this is just such an incredible resource that you'll get connected with. This will be a great tool for you. Even as you're exploring career options, this is a great tool just to help you kind of identify and be able to express who you are as well. So other academic support services, we're going to have a lot of them, and you have it in your guide, but these are some of the key ones we wanted to point out for you. We have the Learning Enrichment Center, which is free tutoring. Did everyone hear that? Free. So you can go in for any subject, and they'll offer free tutoring for you. They also do group tutoring. We have the Center for Global Learning and Engagement, which is study abroad. Does anyone plan on studying abroad? Yes.
Yeah.
Where are some places people want to go? Shout it out. Australia? Where? Did you say the zoo? Oh, Brazil. I was like, what? It's like, no, that's a club on campus.
Well, we do safaris on the South Africa
There you
trip.
go, there you go. If you go to South Africa semester. So, I mean, I can't even read all of those again. I know it's like little bullets there, but so many incredible opportunities for you to engage and get to go and explore in our communities globally. So please
And I want to
take
mention here
advantage.
too, we do have the High Sierra program, which is up in Yosemite, 6-hour drive from here. We take you up there, you live up there. It's the same cost as being down here. We have classes up there. It is a fantastic program. And so we combine both being out in the wilderness and the exploration of nature into meeting your GE requirements. So it's a great program.
Love it, love it. We have academic service learning. So I know that Vicki talked about, and I know we're focusing this session primarily on the academic requirements to get to graduation, but we do have the service component at APU because that is a cornerstone. That is something we believe in deeply, and we want our students to be engaging with our local community and global community. So this is another way that you can also be accomplishing those service requirements, and they're connected with your class, which is incredible. I'm such a hands-on learner, so I loved when I had a class where I could learn something and then go do it right away. It helped me absorb it. So that's what this is. This is helping you get out and do something in the community that's helping you really use the in-class knowledge. It's wonderful. So this is built into most of our programs. All of you will experience that, but just want you to be aware you can also go and engage in some of the other programs that they offer. Career and calling, who wants more than just a degree, but maybe a job after you graduate, right? Parents probably are like, yeah, we do. So this office helps you do that. So career and calling does so much. They have assessments. They will review resumes. They do mock interviews. Really anything we need to help our students feel prepared. And we have an amazing alumni base of people who've graduated and gone out, so we have connections with people all over the world. So it's really incredible to connect with them and connect with them early, because as you start to apply for leadership positions on campus, they'll ask you for a resume. So if you can go in even this semester and just start working on it, get it going, it's never too early to engage in this process. So we're getting there, guys. Important dates. Can everyone pull out your phone? I know usually when people are presenting or teaching, you don't want people on their phones, but this time it's important. You know what? Parents, family members, siblings, whoever's here, if you're going to be a support system, I say get your phone out too. Everybody can have these dates in your phone. So this is important dates from our academic calendar. You can access the academic calendar online anytime, but these are key dates that we want you to put in there.
Now, you were thinking the important dates we were going to show was when's the first holiday in spring and Thanksgiving break. Nah.
Nah. It's okay.
I know that's what you thought we were going to put up.
I'd love it. Take some pictures. I see people taking pictures. We'll keep that up there
But
for you.
of course, the first holiday is Labor Day.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Labor Day, so no class on Monday. Please keep in mind some of these dates. I'll go over those fall ones just to clarify what they mean. So this says the first, I'm so sorry. So first day of classes is August 28th. Does everyone, they're ready? Monday, classes start? We're good. I see some nods, yes, okay.
But
So,
there's no chapel that day.
good point. Great reminder.
First day of classes, but it's no chapel day.
Right. September 6th is the last day to add a class. So if you're still working on your schedule, you still have time. I know sometimes it feels so stressful coming in, and if you don't have the perfect schedule yet, that's okay. Our office is here, One Stop, your academic departments are here. We'll continue to help you get that schedule, but just keep in mind that Wednesday, it is a Wednesday, September 6th, you need to have completed adding any classes that you're gonna add for this semester. And then on September 8th, when it says last day to drop, that means if you needed to drop any class, that's the last day that you can do that. So if you've put something on your schedule and you just really have thought and reflected and, maybe it's too many units, you wanna make sure you have at least 12. We recommend 15 to get to that 120 in time, but if you're just feeling like you wanna take one semester with 12, so you'll drop one and you can make that up in summer or another semester, that's okay. We want to individualize this process for you, but talk with an advisor, but just make sure that you do that before that date.
And I want to mention too, just because you decided not to go to the class doesn't mean you're dropped from it. This is really important. You have to, there's actual paperwork that has to be done to get you removed from the class, because otherwise you get to the end of the semester and go, why do I have this F on my report card for a class I never attended? It's because you never dropped it. So you
It
need to drop it.
happens.
Nobody's going to do it for you. You need to drop the class. You go to One Stop, they'll help you. You do it online, they'll help you, but you have to drop the class. And same thing, showing up at a class doesn't add you to it. You have to add the class.
Great point. And it happens. That's why she says it, because it happens. And then keep in mind, too, we have the pre-registration advising season. So you can get advising anytime, but this is the time where you're going to get some emails from the department. They might have some specific events going on. Sometimes departments hold group advising sessions just to let you know what are new updates in the major, what are things that you need to know. So this season, put that on there. If you have not, by this point, already met with someone for advising, this is your time to do it, because then you start registering for spring classes November. So I know it comes so soon, but we want to make sure you're equipped and you know what you're doing for that next semester. And then you'll see finals is the week of December 11th through the 15th.
And I want to say something, the final schedule is already up. It's on your home.apu.edu site. Your final schedule is there. Here's my advice. And parents, do not pressure your son or daughter about this. You must stay for your finals. Faculty do not give you a bye because you have a ticket going somewhere. So look at your final schedule, plan your departure for after your last final. Okay, everybody got that? Nod that you're getting that. Stay for that last final. But schedule's already up. So man, I'd be on the phone calling for those plane tickets or figuring out, where I'm going to go to Hawaii in December now.
If you're going to Hawaii, you can take me with you. I won't say no.
Okay.
So here's another amazing weekend that we want everyone to come back for. If you are able, family, this is the next time where we want you to come back. Keith talked about you are welcomed home. This is your home. You are welcome to the family here. And this is when we want you to come back. So we have our homecoming and family weekend. So there's tons of different events going on, and there's like in-and-out trucks and golf things happening. And so this is another date. Put that on your calendar. And then if you have any questions, there's alumni and parent relations who organizes that entire weekend. So if you have any questions and family members who are here, this is actually a great resource for you to stay connected. And if you're having any questions, you can always contact them, and they'll be like that front lines for you to help you get connected to other resources as a family member. So we have a quick little do you want to do the little quiz time? See how much they know?
Let's do questions.
Want to do questions first?
Okay. So it's a great chance for you to ask questions. And we may say, I'm not sure about that one. We'll talk to you individually, but great chance to ask questions here. And we have, we have a mic.
We got one coming right over here.
Challenge us with your questions. We're looking forward to it. Anybody have a question? Yes, over here. The dates on the parent night. You mean on homecoming?
Oh. So what are the dates? Let's have everyone put those dates in there.
Well, I can't believe our slide was wrong, but I'm glad you caught us. Okay, there you go.
Winner, 19th through the 21st. So if you put that in your calendar already, sorry, change that. 19th through the 21st.
Good, thanks for that catch. Look, you can go out and have a free dinner on us for that.
It was already free.
I know that. Next question or comment.
There was a service requirement mentioned earlier.
Yes.
How many hours for the service, and how might a student accomplish that service before graduation?
You have to do 120 service credits as well.
To graduate.
To graduate. If you are a transfer student, that is also different and is adjusted based on the amount of time that you'll actually be here. So I also like to give you the office that supports and kind of tracks that in case you have any questions. So our Center for Student Action actually has a coordinator that does all the service requirements. So if you had any questions, you can ask there. Also on your student portal, you can track your hours. You log into home.apu.edu and it'll tell you as you've been accomplishing things. The ways you can do that are like through the service learning that we talked about. So through your courses, when they require you to go into the community. So if you're teaching, sometimes they have you go out and teach in the community. For social work, I was a social work undergrad here. We would have to go out and do different things with our classes to basically demonstrate, like, do I know community org, and can I work with the community? So there's different options like that. As well as through Center for Student Action, we have tons of action teams. So every summer, we send out teams of students to go, and they're all over the world doing different missions trips. So that's another way. We also have local ministries, also through the Center for Student Action. So you can get connected doing local ministry as well. And then if you're working in your church or there's a ministry that you're already a part of, you can submit that form to the same office. You can do it online now. And then they'll also count those hours as long as it's service outside of APU. We want people to engage in our local and global community.
So one of the things that the university just completed was called an impact study. And we just evaluated the impact we have on the economy in California. And I hope I'm not taking away from something Dr. Wallace will say tonight. But the calculation was the contributions by APU to California is worth $1.5 billion. And a lot of that is through the service we're talking about. A lot of hours through the service we're talking about. So it's an integral part of who we are, Christ Scholarship Service, you know, that piece of it. And as she mentioned too, again, in a lot of the courses you'll take, the first day of class, the faculty will say, and this is a service learning component, which you'll automatically get some credit for doing that. Great question.
Any other questions? Any hands? Oh, there's one right here.
Okay, don't be shy. No, I don't. Okay, when do we know if we got into a waitlisted class or if we didn't?
Great question. So check your emails. I hope everyone is kind of transitioning to their APU emails, because that's where pretty much from now on all of the communication is going to come. So actually through One Stop, they send communications, and I think they actually just sent one that's letting you know, basically if you're on a wait list, you need to find a different class at this time. You can always contact, you know, the professor, and they can let you know, but it is telling you on your portal like which, where you're at on the wait list. So really, I mean, this add drop period that's coming up, we talked about the adding and dropping dates. This is that time to start finding another option. If you're not in that class yet, please find another class that is open, or consider just taking something different and then waiting and taking that one in the spring.
But I also, from a faculty side, want to say this: we don't have these huge long wait lists. We don't leave them open to 40 or 50 people. I think it's 10. Used to be 5. We extended it to 10. If you see you're low on the wait list and you think, I really want to do that class, and I'm really going to hope that somebody's going to drop, then the first week of classes, if you're able, you should go sit in on that class. And that's why we have the add drop period, so you still have time to add. The add period is before the drop, because it is really hard to miss a couple weeks of classes and not get any of that content. So if you really think you're going to get in there, or you really want that class, go to the class and sit in on it if it works out with your schedule to do so. And because there's usually, you know, not all classes, but some have students that change their mind, etc. So you might be able to, you won't have missed anything by doing that. Is that good, helpful advice?
Yeah. So if you're like, usually that skill works if you're like maybe 1 or 2 on the wait list, but if you're like 5 or more, the odds are it's not going to work. But contacting your faculty, like we said, is helpful, because then they can kind of give you a realistic gauge. They may have gotten an email from someone saying they're dropping it, but they just didn't do it yet. So it's always best contact the professor, but be looking for other classes at this point.
Come to academic advising. They can help you look for another class.
Any other questions?
Did you find everything today? Did you go look at where your classrooms are? It's like another good thing to do today or tomorrow, because or probably tomorrow now, because you're going to go down and have a dinner. But if you have an opportunity, go hunt out your classroom. Make sure you know where it is. In case you're wondering, it's 0.6 miles from here to the other campus. And when you're here for, you have class from one side of the campus to the other, we have 15 minutes before class. I guarantee you can make it. And sometimes, here's a hint too, especially the first couple weeks of class, don't wait for the trolley. Just beat it, you know, whatever. Okay, you're not getting the song. But hoof it over to the other side of campus or come over here, but just walk, because you're going to get there a lot faster than standing in the line. It calms down. I need to tell you, the trolleys will calm down. Not so many people are using them. They get their rhythm, as Keith talked about, a rhythm going. They figured out when they really need to be at class and stuff like that. But the first couple of weeks, it's a bit crazy, don't you think, with the trolleys?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so just walk. Other questions?
Oh, I see a hand. Oh, they're over here.
Hi. Where do we get dinner?
Oh, are you hungry? Is that your cue to us? You went out for dinner.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, we're gonna let you know.
No, it's just all the shops are closed. I was genuinely concerned. Thank you.
I like that. So are you speaking about dinner tonight, I assume? Or is that like always tonight?
Well, you have to go
It's a
the
fair
0.6 miles across the no. Oh, by the way, it's on East Campus. No, you didn't want to hear that, right?
It's here. So it's going to be right out here in the parking lot.
But not yet.
But not yet, yes. It will be right out here in the parking lot. You're going to see there's some tables, and they right now might have like black tablecloths, but that'll be right out here. So you can go out these doors and to the left, and then you'll see them over there in the parking lot.
And then all the other evening activities are here inside. So again, you might think about getting back here and getting a seat for those events, and then eventually we'll migrate a little bit more outside, but it's all held over here.
Yeah.
Does that help? Okay.
Any other questions? Guys want some time before dinner?
You bet.
Oh, we have one over here.
How does the meal plan work? Are we supposed to choose?
Choose what?
Like which meal plan you want?
Right.
Mhm. Yeah. So if you're living on campus in one of the dorms, there's a required one that just gets automatically put on your account. But then the other ones, if you're commuting from home, you can pick which meal plan you want. So you do have that freedom.
So, and you can add to your meal plan to add, you know, as the semester goes and you're sort of running out of money. Okay, I'm going to say one last thing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, here's my little piece of advice too. Also to add to your meal plan. So parents, my sons just graduated. I sent my sons a card every week. That was for 4 years. Every week they got a card from me. You notice, what is the hamburger place near here? Five Guys? You know, stick in a Five Guys gift card. Don't submit a Starbucks card. Well, you could do Starbucks. They can go across the street and use it, but they can't use it here. So just, you know, call or write your son and daughter each week. And then I also arranged calls with my sons just on Sunday. That was if they didn't call me, I called them. But once a week, we had an arranged call. And otherwise, I left them alone because they didn't want to hear from me. If they do, they'd text me. But otherwise, I just leave them alone and call them that one time a week. So this is a time, enjoy your time together this weekend, and then send them those cards. Five Guys, McDonald's, something else
Chick-fil-A.
besides the cafeteria food. So that goes back to cafeteria food. With that, I think we're good.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And we're going to stick around. So if you have any individual questions that
Come
you
on
want
up and ask.
answered, come let us know.